Good morning, evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about Deadside again, and possibly for the last time, because, well, it seems like no one is really playing it anymore. The player count is at an all-time low, and there just hasn't been much news from the community or the devs recently. Developed by Bad Pixel and published alongside Tiny Build Games, Deadside originally released in early access in 2020, and it gained plenty of traction, and people were loving it, including myself. People were comparing it to other survival games like DayZ and Rust, but what people loved about it was that it was on a more casual level than those games. You could log on and kind of run around for a bit and get fully geared in like less than an hour. And it had decent general building and crafting mechanics. Like, it was simple. It was more simple than other survival games, but with Unreal Engine 4 visuals and a less harsh survival aspect. However, it didn't take long for the cracks to begin to show. Players would start complaining about the overpowered AI within the game. People, including myself, were getting one-shot no-scope trick-shotted from across the map by the AI. It was frustrating, to say the least. On top of those issues, hit detection against players and the AI was very inconsistent. With this issue alone, it was like trying to dodge Radan's arrow volley with no dodge mechanic and having a pea shooter to counter with. That was a pretty specific example, but moving on. Additionally, technical issues did start to pile on. Frequent crashes and server instability both frustrated new and the veteran players, as well as cheaters being a problem as well. I personally never ran into any cheaters, so I won't bash them too much for that. But as for the bugs, lack of variety, and those overpowered AIs, this would eventually lead to a drastic drop in player count. And after peaking at around 5k players at launch, it would drop to an average of 1,000 players spanning most of its life. Until they released Deadside 1.0, the final product of the developers' hard work. Following the release of the full game, they did add quite a lot of cool stuff. And if you want to see a full breakdown of what they added to the game, then go watch my video that explains all of that. I'll leave it in the description and on the screen. But seriously, they did improve the game a lot, but not a lot of new content was really added to the game. They fixed all the things that were wrong with the game, sure, but nothing new and exciting was really added, except for trader leveling and vehicles. And so now, the next step to take would be obviously to release on console. Surprise! Deadside is now playable on PlayStation and Xbox. Now this would have been a good play if they actually optimized their game properly. They attracted over 100,000 new players with this move. However, the game had a lot of issues and bugs, version mismatches, loading screen freezes. All of these issues quickly hindered the game's long-term success on both PC and console. How, you ask? Because, well, they were so busy working on releasing the game on console that they didn't give the love to the PC players that they so longingly needed. And so ever since, the player count has struggled to break over 1,000 players. And it's just slowly going down and nothing big and new has been announced. Now I just wanted to quickly mention, I'm not even really able to play and enjoy Deadside at the very moment. Not because of any gameplay issues, crashes or bugs, but because I live in Australia and it seems that no one plays it here. There are like 3 Australian servers and it's kind of a lucky break for me if there's more than 2 people online at a time. Like if I want to log in and get some PvP in, I gotta log into a North America or Russian server because they have the most pop. And then I gotta play on like 400 ping, so it's kind of just not worth it. But that's just my personal story. I want to play this game, but it's kind of unplayable for me, to be honest. And honestly, I don't even know if this game has much of an audience anymore, because there hasn't really been any new content covering Deadside on YouTube for like over 3 months. It's kind of sad to see because I genuinely did enjoy this game. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The rise and the eventual fall of Deadside. They made something super enjoyable for the casual survival game enthusiast, but just didn't quite scratch the itch. But hey, they could pull something out of nowhere and make the game fun again. Hell, I'd be happy if they just turned down the aggro range of the AIs and maybe even implement some stealth aspects to the mission or something. That's just my thoughts on it. If you also have some thoughts on it, leave them down below in the comments, and while you're there, you may as well leave a